Another day and another Chinese manufacturer has found its way into India's budget smartphone segment. While it may not be as often as I make it seem to be, you can't deny the fact that companies like Xiaomi, Vivo, Oppo, and their sub-brands have flooded the budget segment. Well, here's a new kid on the block, Technomobiles, presenting to you the Technocamon i-Twin. So, a quick look at the spec sheet reveals specs suited for the 11,500 asking price of this device. It does have the 18:9 aspect ratio, a huge screen with cornered edges, and the dual camera setup. So, all in line with today's budget phone trends. Before seeing how these innards actually hold up in reality, let's just zoom out and take a look at the hardware. An inconspicuous matte black plastic which houses the fingerprint reader, the camera duo along with a massive quad LED flash. The front has the 6-inch screen real estate and flash next to the earpiece and a selfie shooter. You get micro USB charging port, a headphone jack, and bottom firing speakers. The device comes with a heavily customized version of Android 8 under iOS version 3.2. There's mixed feelings towards the UI, but leaning on the positive end. Getting into performance, the chipset won't have trouble handling day-to-day tasks and multitasking, even with 3 gigs of RAM. You'll get the usual delay in loading times for app contents, but nothing to offer. The device can run PUBG smoothly on low graphics settings, and when you boot up the device, you may notice a bit of lag, but that sorts out once the heavy UI settles in. Coming to iOS, the device doesn't come with much bloatware, just your essential everyday apps. But what I don't like about the customizations are the app recommendations that pop up on your home screen. To be fair, they can be turned off. But what you also get are suggested articles on your notification bar which you don't have the knowledge of having signed up for. But what I do love about it are the wide usage of gestures. The device also has a WhatsApp mode which lets only WhatsApp use your data. Coming to the display, you can't expect a stellar display in this price range. But seeing pixelated icons on such a huge screen is bothersome. The brightness levels are decent. When outdoor, you can turn on extra brightness, which is essentially full brightness for about 15 minutes. Moving on, the phone disappoints in the camera department. Pictures aren't clear, require stability to avoid blur, and aren't crisp. Have a look at some samples. Images are grainy and tend to get shaken by little instability. The bokeh mode on the back does a bearable job of blurring everything in the background. On the other hand, video recording seems to be above average and can record up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. I don't suppose this has to be a huge trade-off for the asking price. The phone kinda makes up by giving a solid front camera, which renders great colors and accuracy. Coming to the battery, this device will comfortably last you a day. No doubt, a 4000 mAh battery is reassuring to have. And you don't have to worry about draining your battery in the middle of the day. Of course, with that also comes about 2 hours of charging time, which varies if you use your device while doing so. The security features include Face Unlock and fingerprint reader. Both are quick in ideal conditions. You'll find noticeable delay in both of course, but nothing terrible. Unfortunately, this phone only comes in 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of internal storage, which is a considerable disadvantage. It is of course some consolation having dual SIM slot as well as a micro SD card expansion. Call quality on the phone has been underwhelming, with the voice being difficult to hear in moderately noisy environments or just outdoors. The microphone also does a decent job, and I've had no complaints over being clearly heard from the other end. All in all, Techno's got a lot to learn. From more storage and RAM to maybe swanky designs and less social fads should better the experience. Rear camera needs work, and they desperately need to create a distinct personality for themselves in a heavily crowded market. All in all, there's a lot companies like Tecno can learn from Xiaomi and Redmi. For instance, at almost the same price point, you get a better processor in phones like Zenfone Max Pro M1 and the Redmi Note 5. Whereas the other phones like Realme One have a better design and color variants. So that's something Tecno Mobiles can explore. Other than that, I hope you liked our review. Like, share and subscribe, you know the drill. See you in the next one.